But one of the things that jumped out on me, as I said up there, so many of these stories began with each of you. They didn't begin with us. And I want to thank you for that. I'm going to bring Haley up, and we're going to go through the videos that happened at first service so that you can get an idea of your brothers and sisters who were at first service this morning. And the first one, in fact, the first two did not have a video. There were some people who were very camera shy, and two of them said, like, I can't do it. One of them even tried to get up here and got up here and turned away and couldn't do it. So that's perfectly okay with us. We encourage it. And I'll tell you why we encourage a video. One, it's something that you can have. Second, some of our kids who choose to be immersed into Christ, sometimes they get a little bit older and don't even remember what they were thinking or what they did, but you've got something there that you as a parent or grandparent can take home that you can show them. This is what you were thinking on that day. This is what you said. So we think it's something like that too. And you know, when Jesus says, when you confess me before men, he'll confess you before his Father, it is probably the one time in your life that you will talk to more people than at any other time about what led you to this decision to do that. So Audra Lee was the first. Audra lived in the Gallatin-Hendersonville area for about 10 years. She grew up in southern Louisiana. She attends Northfield with her mom Glenda and her husband Devin, and she found us just by driving by. I'm surprised how many drive-by people that we have. They just saw the building driving by and decided to come in. She said, the minute I walked in, I loved the music. I heard it from out there in the lobby, and she said, and I felt God's Spirit moving from the time I came in the front door. She said, I asked Jesus into my heart years ago, but I have been moved for a while now to publicly express my love for Jesus and my commitment to follow him. She said, it's just something, almost like the video you saw with Danielle today. She said, it's just a step I have never taken in my life, and I decided that now was the time to do it. So when you meet Audra around, just say hello to her. The second person that, he was the one that was actually on his way up here and then I think turned and ran. But he was Chris Collins. He and his wife Jennifer have only been married right out a year. They met each other online, which was, you find out all kinds of things in talking with people. And other than that, they don't have any other family here. What encouraged me the most is that they said this has become their family. And they felt that sense of family from the very, very beginning. They initially came to Northfield because they drove by. It was close to where they lived. But they said, that's what makes you come. It's not always what makes you stay. He said, what made us stay is that we felt at home from the very beginning. And Chris said, I've decided to be baptized today because I want to follow in the footsteps of Jesus. And when I think about baptism, there are a lot of reasons to do that, but maybe one at the top of the list, when I decide to become a follower of Jesus, I just want to do the things he asked me to do, and I want to do the things that he did. And Chris said, that's what I've decided today. The next that you saw, or that you haven't seen yet, is Tegan Grace, and I'm going to let Haley tell you a little bit about Tegan.
Tegan Grace was invited by a friend, and her mom have started coming to Northfield for about a year now. And Tegan Grace is super brave. She went to camp with us this past year. You'll hear a little bit about Trent lifting her up like Simba. At camp, she was our camper of the year, or camper of the week, because she's just full of energy. And her mom talks about it all the time, how she tells people about Jesus and invites friends to come to Northfield. So here's a little video of her story.
Yes.
My name is Tegan Grace Galloway, and my nickname is TG. I am 9 years old, and I go to school at Station Camp Elementary, and I like to ride horses and take lessons. Me and my family have attended Northfield for about 9 months, and Alexis Looney invited us, and me and my mom attended. Today I decided to be baptized. What led me to this decision is I know God is with me when I feel frightened and confused. He walks me through whatever is bothering me. Some people that I would like to thank for leading me to this decision is Miss Haley, Mr. Trent, my mom, my grandparents, and Pastor Tom. What I love most about Northfield is my small group leaders because they make me feel comfortable, and I am Mr. Trent Simba. My favorite Bible verse is John 3:16 because God sent his one and only son to die just for me. Again, my name is Tegan Grace, and I have decided to be baptized because I'm ready to let everyone know I'm all in.
I loved her little wave there at the end. And one of the things, did you notice in the video with Tegan, just like the ones at second service, her story didn't begin with us. Her story began with Alexis Looney just inviting her to come and saying, hey, I would love for you guys to be a part of a church family I'm a part of. Never, never, never underestimate the power of an invitation that you make to change someone's life for the better. Well, the next one, you tell us about that.
The next one, Evelyn turned 11 today at 9:09. She was like, I want to be baptized at 9:09 so I can have my spiritual birthday and my real birthday. So that's pretty neat. A little thing about Evelyn is her family are here all the time. Like if there's something going on, they do not miss church. And Evelyn is always the leader of the pack. So I'm excited to see how the Lord is going to use this day to even be a moral leader, to tell others about him in her community and in her schools, in her home. So Evelyn has a lot going for her, and I'm excited to see her I'm excited about the decision she made today and what God has planned for her in the future. So
hey, let's watch Evelyn's story.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Born. I attend Indian Lake Elementary. I'm 11 years old today. I like to play with my puppy, Wimmy, and my family. Today is not only my physical birthday, but it is my spiritual birthday. My family has been attending Northfield for 6 years. What I love most about Northfield Church is all of the songs that I listen to and the people here. I have decided to be baptized because I know who the Lord is and I'm ready for him to take over my life. My favorite song to listen to is Holy Water. Again, my name is Evelyn Bourne, and I have decided to be baptized because I'm ready for Jesus to take over my life.
Another really neat story was a family that you're going to see now, Jake and Taylor Schubert. They were a husband-wife team and who had kind of separately been thinking about this decision. Again, the first thing that they mentioned with you, they mentioned Jim Schreiner and they mentioned Trent that first Sunday meeting them, inviting them to a care group and just trying to get them plugged in from the very first day. They talked about kids ministry. They talked about the doors, the parking lots, so many things that just made them instantly feel at home. What I loved most is that while they were both thinking about it, Jake, you'll hear in the video, was dedicated as an infant, and then Taylor was baptized as a child. But they said what resonated with them was the decision, or especially with Taylor, that she needed to do this for herself. Not even really maybe knowing that her husband Jake was thinking the same thing. And she, like a lot of ladies do, encouraged their husbands to be a part of this and to take that final step. And it was neat to watch them do that together today in the baptistry. So take a look at Jake and Taylor's story.
Hi, my name is Taylor Schubert.
And I'm Jake Schubert. We have 2 children.
Weston, who is 4, and Sadie, who is 2.
We are originally from Oklahoma City. We relocated here about 4 months ago, and have been coming here since. Immediately when we got here, we felt very welcome. Loved the message.
Yeah, Jim and Trent, I remember back our first day, they both were extremely welcoming, and ever since we have just really, we loved it here and decided to make this our church family. We have continued coming back because not only the kids ministry has been great, our 2 small kids absolutely love it here. It's been a really good experience for them, but also just the message for us. Every single service I take away something new, and it's just very real.
Yeah, one thing I appreciate is I feel like the pastor doesn't pull any punches and he says it like it is.
So growing up, I was raised in the church, and I was baptized as a child, actually. But this past Sunday, Tom's message really hit home that it's not my grandparents' religion, it's not my parents' decision, that it's my own personal decision. So I just really, I'm not ashamed. I want to make it known, and I want everyone to know that Jesus is my personal Savior, and I just want to celebrate the new life that He's given me.
So I grew up in the church and was dedicated as a baby, and I've felt the calling before to be baptized, and I never went through with it. And after the last service, my wife said, "You know what? I'm doing it." And I said, "Well, me too." I wanted to. It's a support thing as a husband and wife, and B, finally, it was shown to me that now's the time.
Again, my name is Taylor.
And I'm Jake, and we decided to get baptized today to let everyone know that Jesus is the Lord of our life.
The last two were ladies that, a while ago I would have said maybe my grandma or grandpa, but they're not a whole lot older than I am right now. They could be your grandma, but Elaine Stevens and Jill Warren, they're actually friends. And it reminded me of the value of friendships and how people come together and how they encourage each other. But Elaine and Jill both live right across the street from the subdivision that Trent and Haley live in. And Elaine started coming, you're going to hear her video first, because of her friend Jill. But she was searching, they were searching for something. They tried it out again. They mentioned you guys. They loved it from the very first day because they felt welcome from the minute they walked in the door. So hear Elaine's story.
Good morning. I'm Elaine Stevens. I haven't been coming to Northfield but just a short time. I moved to Gallatin 3 years ago, and I've been church searching. And a friend of mine and I decided to try out Northfield and loved it from the first day. Pastor Tom spoke a sermon a few weeks ago, and he was talking about being baptized. I hadn't given it much thought, but he really spoke to my heart. And I decided that it was something, God had been so good to me, and it was something that I needed to do to show him I was hearing him. Again, my name's Elaine Stevens, and I just want to let the world know I'm in with this.
And then her friend Jill Warren. Jill moved here from California just a little bit ago, and her brother and sister-in-law, Jack and Karen Warren, came here. They invited her. Elaine is a retired school teacher. She was probably one-shot Jill, wasn't she? She just started talking in the beginning, and we didn't have to cut or anything. She just went straight through it. I love she's talked about the joy that was expressed here and how she felt that from the moment that they came in. There were 2 or 3 that I loved because once they realized that Melissa and Deanna were actually filming the videos, they would film it. Melissa was in sweat. She didn't look like she looks up here on Sunday morning, but several of them, after it was over, turned around and like, "Are you the lady on stage?" And then they ran back to hug her. And it reminded me again how much I love that the people that you see up here on stage, they walk around and they talk and they mingle with different people, and that we're just a family together. But Jill expressed that as well, about friends doing life together, and especially the music that she loves hearing each week. So here is our last one for this morning, Jill's video.
My name is Jill Warren, and I have been in Tennessee for 3 years. Prior to that, I lived in California. Actually, I first heard about Northfield from my brother and sister-in-law. They have attended here for about a year, and I started coming around Thanksgiving time. And the thing that struck me when I first walked in the door is a feeling of joy. My Jesus has always been a joyful Jesus. My Savior is full of joy, and it just so uplifted me that I thought, this is where I need to be. I find every week I attend with my friend, and it's been exciting because every week when we get back in the car to drive home, we're talking about the music, we're talking about the message. It's just such a positive, uplifting time. And at this point in my life, I feel like I've always had a good relationship with the Lord, but I'm ready now to have a more personal relationship with the Lord. So when they talked about baptism Sunday, I thought, okay, I got your message, God. I'm standing in line. I'm ready. I'm ready to be baptized. Again, my name is Jill Warren, and I'm excited to be baptized today, to accept Jesus as my personal Savior and the hope and joy that He offers to me.
So, because we didn't want to rush 40 days today and try to cram all of that into the end, we wanted to tell you about the different people. And the first one that's going to be baptized at second service is Brooklyn Alcantor. And Haley knows Brooklyn, and you can tell us whatever you know.
Yeah, so Brooklyn, she has been coming with her mama every week. Her grandmother kind of helps raise her, and she brings her every week. And what's neat, one of my favorite things is she says she wants to live for Jesus and that she wants to go to heaven. And a special little memory that I'll never forget is she had career day at school this past year, and she decided to go as one of our children's pastors here. So it's a really neat to see. She's so shy, but she loves Jesus, and she wants to make him the Lord of her life.
I enjoyed watching her video that you did well with her. Let me tell you, and Haley is a great video motivator, but watch Brooklyn's video with us.
Hi, my name is Brooklyn. I'm 8 years old. I am in the 3rd grade. We've attended Northfield for 1 year. What I love about Northfield is I learn about God. Mama brings me to church, and I'm so thankful for her. Today I want to be baptized because I want to live for Jesus. Again, my name is Brooklyn, and I want to be baptized because I want to go to heaven.
Hey, that was neat, wasn't it? And sometimes it's funny, the kids that you see running through the hall the most, sometimes when you put a camera in front of them are like, and they have this deer in the headlights look. Was not the case with the next boy you're going to meet, Drew Corbett, yes. Who came running in. And I will let you tell about Drew, Haley.
It's neat because Drew's parents played a major role in his physical birth, but they have made and influenced him a lot in his spiritual birth as well. Drew is not afraid to speak out in his small group. He is not afraid to share his opinions on things, his thoughts on things, and one of the things he loves most about here is the coffee shop. So we are encouraging him on, when you buy a coffee at the coffee shop, it actually helps someone else in need. And he was like, what? He was kind of shocked. He really didn't know what we were talking about. So we got a chance to just share how the coffee that he's drinking, the hot chocolate he's drinking, is helping share the gospel in countries all over the world too. So.
And his dad is going to actually have the privilege of baptizing him at second service. So go ahead and watch Drew's video with us.
My name is Drew Corbett. I'm 11 years old, almost 12. I go to Session Camp Elementary, and my favorite subject is math, mainly because it's easy and also kind of fun. I've been going here about 2 years. And my favorite thing about Northfield is this coffee shop right here, because it's hot chocolate is super good, but also because it helps people in other countries. Decided to be baptized today because of my family, mainly my mom and my Gammy. My favorite hobby is eating. Again, my name is Drew Corbett, and I have decided to be baptized today because I'm ready for Jesus to be the Lord of my life.
Oh. And I liked eating as well. Emma Moser, that's a good story there that's going to go on as we got to know Emma. And we'll let Haley tell a little bit about Emma this morning.
What's neat about Emma is she has never once stepped foot in Northfield Kids. She loves being in here with you guys every week. She loves worshiping, and she finds community with you guys every week. So she decided that she wanted to be baptized and started talking to her mom. And a little thing that's neat is her mom decided, you know what, I haven't taken that step in faith either. So it's neat to see parents influencing their kids, but kids also influencing their parents.
And she is 11, and we're going to, she ends her, if you'll notice, she ends her baptism video with this, that she wants to make Jesus known in her life. And it's really neat to see an 11-year-old girl that part of our vision statement stuck with her, and that's part of what she wants to do as an individual. So watch Emma's video with us.
Hi, my name is Emma Moser. I am 11 years old and I like to play soccer, basketball, and tumbling. What I love most about Northfield is like meeting nice people and like coming here and having like nice community. I want to be baptized today because I want people to know that Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Again, my name is Emma Moser and I want to be baptized because I want Jesus to be known.
And if any of you want to stay to see some of these, they're going to be at the beginning of second service as well. So if you want to line the walls and watch them, that would be neat. And as Haley said, an incredible part of Emma's story is when she started telling her mom said, you know what? I have never made that step myself for just a lot of different reasons. She said we started looking around for a church family when we came to this area that my kids would feel comfortable, that we would feel comfortable. And she said it was one of the few places that we came in that every one of us thought, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And when we heard that, her story was one of many that we heard, that it started not with us, but it started with you. It started with the way you talk to people. It started, she said, from the time she went in the door, she felt at home. So for all of you who maybe just come a little bit early and greet people and walk around, maybe you're not an official greeter, but I want you to know you are ambassador to Christ, and that their story in many times began with you. And that was part of Danielle's story as well. The phrase that stuck with me is when she said, all the time I hear people say, I'm in. And I got in the car, and when my daughter wanted to be baptized, she said, I thought, I want to be in too. I want to take this step. I hope you enjoy Danielle, Emma's mama's baptism story.
Hi, my name is Danielle Moser. I have been coming here to Northfield for a little over a year. I come here with my husband, Tyson, my son, who is 15, and my daughter, Emma, who is 11. I am a nurse, and I work at Skyline. What led me to Northfield is we were looking for a home church for our family that we all were happy and felt a part of. And we had tried several churches, and all of us felt home when we came here. We enjoyed it. It was comforting, inviting, and you felt the presence of God. And we love the music. What led me to be baptized today is I have considered myself a Christian most of my life. I was brought up in church, always gone to church, and this is the one thing I haven't done. And a few weeks back when we started going through the Bible and Pastor Tom was talking, the one thing at home when I was reading my Bible and praying that kept coming back to me was, what have you not done yet? And the one thing that I know I haven't fulfilled that I'm supposed to do is get baptized. And so Baptism Sunday was coming up, and here I am. Again, my name is Danielle, and I'm going to be baptized today because I want everybody to know that I am all in.
The next lady we want to tell you about is a young lady named Jennifer Cameron. I had seen Jennifer, but really didn't know her that well. She is from Miami, Florida. She moved here because of her husband's job. You'll hear when you watch Jennifer's testimony that her husband passed away. I don't know. I knew we had prayed for her, but time just seems to get away from me, and I had forgotten that it was very recently. It was just in December. He had throat cancer after moving here, and someone invited her. She decided to come, but he passed away in December, and she said in December of this year, I went from feeling like at least my family was together and maybe there was hope to it just didn't work out the way I had thought it would work out, and I found myself being a single mom again. And one of the things she said was how much this church family. She said people that she didn't even know that would just say something, not knowing what had happened in her life when she just needed to hear a word from the Lord from someone. And she said, this church has really become my church family. Her neighbor, Renee, and I need to find out who Renee is. Renee must go here. I'm not sure. So Renee, come to the green room and find me afterwards. I would love to meet you. But isn't it neat that a neighbor can just say something to someone? They can come and they can find that part of community they're talking about. When she got here, she immediately fell in love with Mom Strong. I don't know if you're a mom and you don't know much about Mom Strong. Heather Ambergy leads that program along with a lot of mentor moms. And she will mention in her video, again, some of you. It's, I think, Lisa Jacoby, who is her mentor mom. And she mentions Lindsay Bourne, who is the mother of Evelyn, who was baptized this morning, who is a small group leader, and how those two ladies fed into her life at a time that she needed it. What was funny, and I don't know if Melissa remembers this, but Melissa was filming the videos, and she kind of gets out on the other side and thinks, is that the lady that sings every Sunday that was filming our video? Because Melissa looked a little bit differently. She was in sweats and stuff and kind of had her hair pulled back. And then she was like, I got to go back and meet her. And then several of them. And it just reminded me, I love that that our worship team is not just somebody that's up here on stage, that they're involved, that they get out in the audience, that they meet you guys, and that she felt a connection is there as well. But you never know the struggles that someone is going through. And again, how just a word from you, a word from each of you can mean so much. I hope you enjoy Jennifer's baptism story.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Cameron. I am originally from Miami, Florida. My husband and I, we moved here about 5 or 6 years ago. We moved to the east part of Tennessee, and then from there we moved to the Nashville part, Middle Tennessee. Unfortunately, my husband passed away of cancer shortly after when we moved here. I had no direction. I was lost. I immediately became a single mom. And I had no idea what to do because I was a workaholic before then. And so my neighbor, Renee, came to me and told me that I needed to meet up with the folks at Northfield Church. And that was about maybe 2 months ago. I did. I went to that first Sunday, the first Sunday service, and I've been coming here ever since. Since I've been here, I feel like I've been reborn. I've met so many great people. My family is 900 miles away from me. I'm the only one in this state with my daughter. But since I joined Northfield, I am overwhelmed with so many great friends. I'm a part of Mom Strong with Lisa Jacoby. I'm a part of Lindsay Bourne's Bible study group every other Friday night, and we have a blast. I love being a part of this family. This church has really given me like a new way of living. I don't work nonstop. Stress does not rule my life. I have time now to raise my daughter, and I'm moving forward with my life, and that's why I chose to be baptized on March 8th, because I felt like I'm ready. Again, my name is Jennifer Cameron, and I am ready to let Jesus be the Lord of my life, and I'm 100% in, and I'm really excited about this, so thank you.
A lady that Haley and I both know very well by the name of Tammy. Did she say her name Friedel?
Friedel.
Friedel, and you get to know her grandchildren, don't you?
Yes. Yes, Tammy always has kids with her. They're not her kids, but the grandkids. She always has one of them with her at all times.
And she brings them and goes to get them. But I've known Tammy, but didn't have the chance to talk with her in depth until she made this decision. And again, one of the things that she said is how you and how the power of your words have helped change her life. She has 2 daughters, 6 grandchildren. One of those people whose adult children influenced her because her daughter Jackie had been driving by and decided she was going to stop and ask her mom to come with her. And she said they've been out of church for 6 to 7 years. And Tammy decided to come in here. And Tammy said, the first thing I realized was that people were welcoming. She said, it was the first place I'd been in a long time where I felt at home the minute I walked in the door. One of the things that struck me, because she is close to my age, I'm a few years ahead of her, but she said, you know, I got to be 50 years old and trying to figure out what in the world I'm supposed to do with my life. I feel like I've just been wandering for the last 50 years, and all of a sudden I have felt some direction because of the people here. She said it felt like home, and she said the messages, the music were always relevant to her life. So I hope that you enjoy Tammy's story.
Hi, my name is Tammy. I have 2 daughters, Jackie and Josephine. I have 6 grandkids, 5 boys and 1 girl. Jackie and I have been coming here August of 2017. We had just moved to Gallatin the last part of July of that year. And Jackie had been going by Northfield for once a week, taking, you know, her son to speech therapy in Hendersonville. And so she said, we should stop by there and just step in. And she hadn't been to church in like 6 or 7 years. So for her to say, you know, we need to go check it out, I thought that was a good indication that we need to get back in church. So the minute we stepped in the door, it just felt like home again. And growing up, I had not had what you would consider a biblical upbringing. My grandparents went to church every Sunday, but they did not, you know, portray that, you know, outside of church. So because of a bad relationship that I had with my dad and other relationships as I got older, I just drifted away from God for several different things in my life that I had going on. So when we moved here and Jackie said, you know, she wanted me to come here with her, she wanted to get the kids in church and learn about Jesus and what that relationship looks like, it was a big step for me. And I told her I'd come with her, but I wasn't making any promises. It was just, I'm going to go and check it out with you. But once we walked in the door and we heard the music and the people were all just so welcoming as if we'd already been coming here. And then, of course, listening to Tom and Trent, and just every message felt like it was directed right towards us every Sunday. For a long time, I've been trying to figure out who I'm meant to be. So the first, 50 years of my life, I've just been so lost. I feel like, that little lost sheep that God's been trying to herd back into his fold, but like most sheep, I've been stubborn. And so back in December, this past December, Tom did a message that talked about coming into 2020 with a new lease on life, a new fresh start. And so I'm sitting there listening to it, and it's like I heard a knock on the door on my head, and he said, "You need to come back." And I said, okay. And it just kept bugging me. I just kept getting that message over and over. And I kept putting it off and just not talking to anybody about it. I had never said anything to anybody about hearing that in my mind. But then they put the information about Baptism Sunday in the bulletin. I said, okay, I'll open the door. And for most of my life, I've been doing and making decisions for other people, with other people, because of other people. But this one is something that I feel like I wanted to make for myself and for God, and it just be between the two of us. But I wanted the world to know that I'm accepting Jesus as the Lord of my life, and I'm going to follow in whatever way that He leads me. Again, my name is Tammy, and I just getting baptized today is to let the whole world know that I'm all in for Jesus.
The next lady you'll hear from is Theresa Strickland. One of the things you'll notice right off is that Theresa knows a lot of Scripture. She and her husband have been praying together. She said, we've been hungry for the Word. We've been looking for a church home. And from the time we drove in the parking lot, she meant to say the people were out there in all types of weather, but she called them weathered people. And I thought, well, that might be, so we decided to leave it in there as well. But she said she was looking for a word from the Lord. She found that. She gets a little bit emotional in there, but I love the part that she talks about God being able to redeem your past and give you a new start. Theresa's video.
My name is Theresa Strickland. My husband and I had been praying for almost a year, and I had been in the wilderness in the desert, literally. In July of 2019, God put a fire in my heart, and I became very hungry for His Word and desperate for our church home where we could worship and hear God's voice. And when we pulled in the parking lot, the first thing we saw were happy faces and people, being weathered but loving it. And coming through the doors also, we were greeted. And it's so important. We just felt the love of God and the warmness of people here that we had not experienced, really. It was just something very different here for us, and we knew it was God. I came to this decision today because I had been given a word from God twice, actually, and as Tom always says, when that word is for you and you know it, then you know it. And in September, right after we'd started here, my niece had that word for me, and I just broke into tears when I heard it. It was Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. And then one of my Bible study teachers from here also gave me that word again. So it was double confirmation for me. And God was saying, because I had been grieving the years I had missed with my heart on fire for God, and what He said was, that doesn't matter. That's in the past. For I'm doing a new thing. It's already begun. It says, do you not see it already? And I had. But He went on to say, because I knew I'd been in that wilderness and desert for so long, He went on to say in verse 19 that He would clear the path of the wilderness and run the living waters and rivers into that desert. And He has done that from the very moment. And I could not be more blessed or honored to glorify Him and having a public baptism, just renewing all of that, my heart, mind, and soul, back to my God and Lord and Savior. My name is Theresa, and I'm here to let you know that Jesus is the Lord of my life.
And the last one is a young lady named Shelby Davidson. What I noticed right off about Shelby was her bubbly personality, and she's got a little girl named Violet in the area with Haley. And I noticed that her Northville story, again, started with one of you, a young man named Logan Hollis, who lives in the same apartment complex and who works with Shelby on an individual day basis. And he not only invited her, he went and picked her up and brought her here the first two times, brought her in the green room to meet us. But again, hearing how you guys helped her story, again, through Mom Strong was one of the things that she mentioned there, and just all the children's areas and how they made Violet feel. So thank you for that. And I hope you enjoy Shelby's story.
Hello, my name is Shelby Davidson. I have found out about Northfield through my friend Logan. We worked together at the Gap, and he encouraged me to come here and find the family. My daughter and I are originally from Tampa, Florida, and we moved here 3 years ago. I have been very thankful, but I've also been rejected and kind of questioned a lot of things about life. And what is bringing me to be baptized is that I want to strengthen my faith and continue walking with the Lord. And I just want to show my daughter that there is someone here and that we will always be loved. What I love most about being at Northfield is the life groups that they are representing. And the Mom Strong group since last summer has helped me in multiple ways. And my mentor, Lauren, and Heather, the leader, they have reached out multiple times, and I'm very thankful that they are showing God in their spirit. I also really appreciate the children's school because not only do they teach Violet, but they also communicate with me. I just want to continue bringing Violet because ever since we started bringing her, she has been asking more about learning God and in His flesh. I also want to thank and I also cherish the ones that I've been meeting here at Northfield because they've become a family. And the more I come here, the more that I see their faces, and it's beautiful. My name is Shelby Davidson, and I am coming to the Lord to walk with Him, to be baptized today.
Hey, Haley and I want to thank you. Thank you, Haley. You know, what I noticed most is that almost every story began not with me or not with the praise team, but it began with one of you. And I could tell you that I could not be more proud of a group of people because I've always heard that people make a decision within the first 5 minutes of walking on our parking lot, whether they're going to come back or whether they're not, which means that what each of you do is so tremendously more important maybe than what we do up here on stage. And I want to say thank you for the way that you've made a difference in a lot of people's lives. We're going to close with a song in just a moment called Rescue Story. These people that we're talking about today are rescuing people out of the kingdom of darkness and into the kingdom of light. But one of the ways that we as a county know right now and as a state being able to rescue people through the tornado things that are out there. Just to give you an update, we reached out to the Emergency Management Association of Davidson County, Wilson County, and Putnam County. Every one of them asked us to not as a big group do something right now just because they were inundated with so many individual volunteers. Still, I know Atlanta took a group and they were at Goodlettsville Elementary. Jimmy Seitz had some people there. Eddie Kim with Moy had a group of people the other day. Adam McDonald that I see up here had a group of people at Hermitage. But we are partnering with a company called International Disaster Emergency Services. They work with only through churches, and they come in about 2 weeks after the initial work has been done, and they try to figure out how to do ongoing and long-term care for people. They called us and asked if we would partner with them, so I've talked with them once. I'm meeting with them next week, and we're going to find out what we can do in the upcoming weeks through them. So be praying about our county and be thinking of just the number of people who are displaced right now and even without electricity this morning, and we'll give you ways that our church family can continue to be involved in ways that you see personally. You can do that. You can get a Northfield t-shirt today out here with every $5 donation. Any t-shirt that's gone $5, it's going to tornado relief. You can contribute at the t-shirt counter, or you can go online through the app and choose the option for tornado relief if you want to give funds. We have several churches that are already sending us some funds. We don't know what that's going to be like. Solomon Foundation is going to give us some funds as well. And we're going to look for people who are underinsured or who had no insurance to see if we can help them rebuild their lives with some things that we have through here. All of us have a rescue story to tell. Sometimes that rescue story is spiritual, and sometimes that rescue story is physical. But I hope as we sing this last song, and then Trent will come up and dismiss you, that you will find yourself somewhere in these. And as you see each one of these people who has spiritually been rescued this morning through this video and this song that we're going to sing now, that it will remind you that you were a very real part of what you saw happen this morning. And from all of us on staff, we just want to say Thank you.
There I was, empty-handed, crying out from the pit of my despair. And there you were, in the shadows, holding out your hand, you met me there. And now where would I be without you? Where would I be, Jesus? You were the voice in the desert, calling me out in the dead of night, fighting my battles for me. You were my rescue story, lifted me up from the ashes, carried my soul from death to life, bringing me from glory to glory. You were my rescue story. Never gave up on me. You never gave up on me. You were my testimony.